All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am obsessed with a TV show called Gomorrah. If you're into crime, Italian crime, Gomorrah, man, is where it's at. Read the book about 12 years ago, and it was nonfiction, but Gomorrah, the television show, is it's a fictional version of it. Great show, and it's making me wonder, should I go back and watch the 1967 The Prisoner, which was canceled only after, I think, 2 seasons. 67 and 68. I've been thinking a lot about the word canceled. Not in the way that most people use it today. I know how most people talk about cancel culture. I'm not talking about that today. I'm talking about different versions of canceling. For example, I hate it when a television show that I love because of its originality, its vitality, is canceled. I remember Campus Ladies from 2006 was this improvisational comedy that kind of foreshadowed 30 Rock. That was amazing. The Bridge, which was about this detective with Asperger's, beautiful detective. Man, that was like cut after 2 years. That was an amazing show. And then in 2005, around there, 2007, it was called Starved. It was about group therapy for a bunch of people with eating disorders. One dude was a breatharian, which means he didn't eat food. He just absorbed nutrients, or so he thought, by breathing the air. That was only 7 episodes. That show was so ahead of its time. I don't even think it lasted a whole season. I think they pulled the plug. I hate it when a TV show that I love, it's just so brave and courageous and original, it gets canceled. I hate that. Obviously, I don't like it when premature death cancels the career of an entertainer. James Dean, Marilyn Monroe. Do you remember the singer Jeff Buckley? What a voice. What a voice. He was so young when he died. He drowned, I think in the Mississippi River or something, 1997. I can't stand that. Another form of cancellation is when an injury takes away the career of an athlete who's in his prime. Now, my favorite athlete of all time was Bo Jackson. January 13th, 1991, against the Cincinnati Bengals, he hurt his hip, and I was devastated. I kept buying the LA Times every day. This is before the internet. I was reading about his hip injury, and man, that hip injury effectively canceled his football career. It was absolutely outrageous. So sports injuries can cancel a career. Bo Jackson, I still think of that dude, man. He really captured my imagination. So on a personal level, you know, we cancel things that we're doing in our own lives. In art, for example, you might be writing a book, and midway through the book you say to yourself, I'm bored. If I'm bored, the reader's bored. This book is canceled. Or you're making a painting and it looks too derivative of other paintings you've seen, so you cancel your painting midway. Or I'm writing a piano sonata and it sounds like the last piano sonata I wrote, so I cancel it. So sometimes your personal artistic creative ventures, they get canceled because you say, I don't care how much time I invested in this thing, I'm out of this joint, man. You could be an inventor and just work your way on some invention and be so myopic in your obsession that you don't realize this thing's not going to scale. Now I realize the dude who invented the remote control toilet seat must be rich. I mean, I see these remote control toilet seats on Amazon. There's like 1,000 reviews. They cost between $300 and $500. But personally, I've never been in a house that has one. So if you're just to ask me, I would never imagine that such a thing would scale. But if you're inventing something you don't think it's going to scale, you're going to have to cancel the thing you're inventing. If you're an entrepreneur, a business person, you know, seems like all Shark Tanks are the same episode, aren't they? Some dude goes to Peru and he hires the locals to make tote bags made out of banana leaves, and then Mr. Wonderful tells him his idea sucks. I think I've seen that episode about 10,000 times. And so sometimes you have to cancel a business venture. Good old Mr. Wonderful, man. Sometimes a marriage gets canceled, you know. One thing about marriage that's tough, and you got to tell this to young people, it doesn't just work on its own. If left alone, it rots. It's subject to entropy. And a lot of times marriages, they get canceled because nothing's going on. You know, you're comfortable, but being comfortable is not enough. Same thing with a friendship. Sometimes one person in the friendship is growing and the other person is stagnant, and the friendship gets canceled. Sometimes the whole world rejects you. The whole world cancels you. It's like the whole world gives you a rejection slip. Now, when that happens, you got to admit, the problem's not with them, it's with me. I mean, if my wife, my friends, my coworkers, if they're all canceling me, the problem's inside myself. So sometimes you gotta look inside yourself and try to cancel those specific traits. I mean, my favorite cartoon of all time, The Adventures of Gulliver's, which was canceled after just a season and a half, 2 seasons, 1968, 1969. Obviously, it was adapted from Gulliver's Travels, and there was a character named Glum, and he's like, oh, we'll never make it, we're doomed, you know, we're gonna die. You know, people like that, they get canceled because, you know, they're just so negative. If I were to critique myself, say some specific things about myself I'd like to cancel, I can be too negative to the point that my negativity creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm too avaricious for man-made material objects, watches, cars, Italian sofas, all that tasty stuff. And the other thing is I'm impatient, and I overreact to small things and then end up making those small things bigger because of my overreaction. I mean, those flaws in my character, I wish I could just cancel myself sometimes, just get a reboot, because I get so sick of dealing with those personal weaknesses. And then sometimes a voice in my head say, I got the answer to your reboot, McMahon. What? Buy a new watch. Oh yeah, a new watch. Exactly what I was looking for. And then a voice in my head will say, wait a minute. This isn't about watches. In fact, this video I'm making for you guys isn't about watches. And then another voice in my head will say, it's always about watches, McMahon. You can't get out. You're the prisoner. You're in the watch world. You're in watch hell, bro. Can't you feel it? And it's like I'm going, cancel me now. So tell me what you think about this whole cancel thing, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta get out of this joint. I gotta go hang out with my family before they cancel me. Until next time, I'm out.